let's talk about 3 different housing developments that are going to be happening in the next few years. Hey, my name is Rob Scout. I'm a realtor down here in Southern Maryland with EXP Realty, and the whole goal of these local videos is to help inform you about what's going on in St. Mary's County. Now, like I said, one of the things that a lot of people are talking about right now is St. Mary's County's plan for 2050. They're expecting around 40,000 more residents to come to St. Mary's County in the next 25 years or so. And that's going to mean we're going to need more housing, because right now, as it stands, our housing is pretty woefully short for the amount of people we have here right now in the county. And you can see that because a lot of houses, especially the ones in that 350 to 450 range, are getting multiple offers and snapped up within a few days. That tells me there is a strong amount of demand and really not enough supply. And the commissioners know that as well, and they've been approving some projects. One that was recently denied is Bradley Brook, and the reason that was denied was because of the traffic patterns and also the fear that it was going to be too close to base and too much noise pollution fallout from the base itself. Another one that is kind of on the fence based on the meeting that I saw is Jacob's Run. Again, it goes back to traffic because they're trying to route phase 1 of Jacob's Run through one road that is already shared by another community. What we're seeing is a lot of the housing developments that are getting either kicked out to hopefully be resubmitted or just all out denied are ones that are really running into congestion issues. So I heard a lot of people say that traffic is already bad enough. We don't need any more developments here. And I agree. And I think the commissioners are trying to address that, but I also think they need to address the housing shortage we have. So here are 3 developments that are going to be coming within the next few years. Now, I know townhomes is not everyone's favorite, but they are more affordable than single family homes, and it meets that density issue that we have because St. Mary's County does not want to sprawl out from our development centers. They don't want to take up more of that rural land outside of California, Lexington Park, and places like that. So that's why you're seeing more townhomes. But the Kingston Crossing townhomes in California, Maryland are a project that has been approved. Now it's going to be 36 townhomes, and it's going to be on the corner of Myrtle Point Road and Patuxent Boulevard in California on about a 7-acre parcel, which can get really trafficky because of all the traffic going from Lusby and Solomons, and just it's really a central area in St. Mary's County. Now, what a lot of people liked about this development was it wasn't adding as much traffic as some of these bigger ones. They're saying it's only going to add about 211 daily vehicle trips. It should be more affordable for people that are making between $54,000 and $112,000 a year in St. Mary's County. But the main concern that a lot of people had about this development before it was approved is it is in the critical area and a good amount of trees are going to be cleared. And we saw the same thing when Myrtle Point, the whole neighborhood over there, was cleared as well. But it didn't seem to stop them, and hopefully they're going to do some mitigation along the creek beds and along the edges of that clearing to make sure it doesn't run into the Patuxent River. Project number 2 is going to be Pembroke Crossing, and this is more townhomes, 140 of them. So this is almost 3 times as much. Actually, it's more than 3 times as much as the Kingston Crossing ones. And it's going to be on 28 acres. And I just want to be clear, these are going to be homes for sale, not ones that people are going to, not like ones that our company are going to have and just rent out to people. These will be townhomes for sale in the Pembroke Crossing. Now, I'm not surprised this was approved because it's literally right in the developmental district for Lexington Park. And this is where the county is envisioning that a lot of development is going to go, whether it be in Lexington Park or California, because they want to really concentrate as much of the growth in those areas. And for those people that want a shorter commute to base, but also want a newer townhouse, they're not going to have to look in Leonardtown or even California. You're actually going to get some newer townhouses right in Lexington Park, making a short commute to base. But the con here is that because it's a 140 unit townhome, it's going to have a lot of daily vehicle trips, 820 to be exact. And with Lexington Park already being pretty trafficy, it's definitely going to add more traffic to the area, but the county studies did say it's still at an acceptable level. And as of this video, the construction phasing isn't finalized yet, so I'm not sure when these are going to be starting, but I'll make sure I keep you updated as soon as I hear something. And Project 3 is in downtown Leonardtown. Now, if you know Leonardtown, you know most of the houses around there are going to be single family homes, and one thing that is lacking is kind of that apartment living within Leonardtown. And the GH residence in downtown Leonardtown really hopes to address that. So it's going to be 0.7 acres taken up and making a 16-unit, 3-story apartment building on Washington Street in downtown Leonardtown. Now, they're going to be 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom apartments with the goal of renting in between $1,800 and $2,000 per month. And knowing how much rentals are going for single-family homes down in Leonardtown, sometimes around $3,000 for a really probably 1,000 square foot home, that sounds like a really good deal for a lot of younger people that may be looking to just get a place in the area close to downtown where a lot of the action does happen, especially for people their age. Now, one of the biggest pros of this, it's an infill development, meaning this is already cleared land, it's already commercial use, and they're just using it in a different way. They're going to be putting this building on here instead of clearing woods, creating more sprawl or anything like that. But some people say the pros don't outweigh the cons. And one of the biggest cons that I read was that it's just not going to fit in with the visual aesthetic of Leonardtown. It's going to be a 3-story building stuck between 2-story homes on historic Washington Street. And people are worried that it's just going to stick out and really not look great. And just like the other one, there's also concerned about traffic because that could add around 32 vehicle trips. And with 32 new spaces and 32 new cars driving all around Leonardtown in an already congested area, there's some big concerns for that too. Now, it's worth noting that this one has not gotten final approval from the town yet because they wanted a little bit more updating on the design and the facade of the building. So as soon as this one finally goes through, I'll let you know as well. So those are 3 different developments that are most likely going to happen in St. Mary's County. And the way I see it, while there is development going on, the county is trying to limit that development to areas that are already somewhat developed. They really want to see the urban sprawl kind of stop and let the rural areas be rural and build up areas around Lexington Park, California, Leonardtown and places like that. So look, if you have any questions about any of these developments, or if you have questions about other developments that are being proposed, use the contact information below. Call me, text me, and I'd be happy to help any way that I possibly can. Look, I really appreciate you watching this video, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one.